Hello all, my name is Ameya. In this video, we are going to learn the historical approach to study the political theory. Historical approach studies the politics through the historical account of the past. Let us see this with a small example. Consider the case of the fascism. We can study the historical account of the Italy in the 1920s and we can find out what led to the rise of fascism, how did it develop in Italy, how did it strengthen itself, and so on. By studying the historical account of Italy in 1920s, we can finally conclude that it was the economic discontent, lack of democratic virtues, and the weak institution and many other factors which led to the rise and growth of fascism. So in this way, we can try to understand the political theory, political phenomena with the help of the historical approach. In this presentation, we'll be broadly covering these 3 points. We'll be studying the historical approach in detail, then we'll study the significance of the historical approach, and then we'll see the criticism that has been leveled against the historical approach. Now, historical approach is studied under 2 heads, that is the textual approach and the contextual approach. Now let's study the textual approach. The textual approach emphasizes on the literal interpretation of the text. For example, if we consider the case of Plato's Republic or Aristotle's Politics, for that matter Kautilya's Arthashastra, then according to the textual approach, we have to go for the literal and word-to-word interpretation of the text given in these works of the prominent authors. The textual approach ignores linking of the text to the context. Textual approach does not encourage out-of-the-box thinking or the creative interpretation of the text. It beholds that the text has a timeless wisdom and it cannot be questioned. Since the textual approach ignores the linking of the text to the context, there has been a criticism leveled against this approach. Textual approach is criticized for giving biased interpretation. It is criticized for being reductionist. The textual approach also claims finality of the knowledge. Now let us study the contextual approach. Unlike the textual approach, the contextual approach links the text to the context. And in doing so, it prevents the wrong interpretation of the ideas. Let us see this with a small example. Consider the idea of Gandhiji's Ram Rajya. So if we go only for the textual interpretation of the idea of Ram Rajya, then we would perhaps wrongly interpret Ram Rajya as the religious idea of the state. However, if we go for the contextual interpretation of the idea of Ram Rajya, then we can conclude that Ram Rajya is a secular, inclusive and an idea of a just state. Sabini says that political ideas are given as a response to particular situation. So we need to study the context in which such ideas are given. Contextual approach allows to study the ideas holistically and comprehensively. Now let us try to study the significance of the historical approach. Historical approach allows to study the politics through the historical account of the past, as we've seen in the earlier part of the presentation. Since history is a rich treatise of knowledge, it has got a lot of political ideas and thought that has evolved over the period of time. So the historical approach allows us to study the politics and enrich the understanding of the political theory by referring to these ideas and political theories that have been evolving since time immemorial. In this way, the historical approach pledges history in service of political theory. Historical approach allows us to study the relevance of the political ideas. For example, Aristotle's justification of slavery is not acceptable as it violates the value of human dignity. Historical approach gives us meaningful information to prevent the rise of undesirable political phenomena. For example, when we study what situation was there in which the fascism emerged in Italy, So we can take care and ensure that such situations which are conducive to the rise of fascism are prohibited, and thus the undesirable political phenomena like fascism can be prevented. Now let us study the criticism that has been leveled against the historical approach. Karl Popper happens to be an ardent critic of the historical approach. His idea of historicism says that historical approach says what is inevitable, and then it goes on to advocate totalitarian methods to realize it. Similarly, David Easton says that we should not live parasitically on the ideas of the century old, and we should look forward to developing new ideas and not just go back to the century old and irrelevant ideas of the historical past. It is often said that the political ideas found in the history are not relevant in the contemporary and present time. The historical approach is also criticized for being reductionist. Historical approach is also cited as an example for the decline of the political theory. It is said that the historical approach keeps looking backward instead of being forward looking, and in this process it has reduced the relevance of the political theory, and historical approach is one of the reasons for the decline of the political theory. So this is all about the historical approach to study the political theory. With this, we conclude the topic of the historical approach to study political theory. You can visit my site www.politicalscienceforum.in. There you can find a lot of objective information on this topic, which would be very useful for you to write the answers of the political science for the mains paper. So hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you so much.